YouTube, what's going on? Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and today I'm going to tell you my setup for my Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now, don't have a full review yet, but I've been using the mess out of this phone for almost a week now, and I wanted to walk you through how I have it set up, what apps I'm using, and what games, and sort of the way I use the phone to be very productive and also have the opportunity to play games and all that stuff. And let me just kind of walk you through my process. If you're new to my channel, I'm a tech guy, and I keep it real. I review products, and I talk about products the way I use it in a practical way that everyone can understand. Hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, let's talk about it. Anyways, this is my home screen here that I have on the cover display. Now, what's important to me for a home screen for the cover display is to be able to access everything, quickly. The cover display is for quick stuff, one-handed friendly apps, one-handed friendly things. So that's very important to me. So this is a widget. I will talk about what the widget is and the skin very shortly, but this widget allows me to get to stuff quickly. So if I want to get to my alarm clock, I just essentially tap on the clock right here. I'm in my alarm clock. This right here lets me go straight to Google Maps. Anything regarding the weather pops me over to the Weather Channel app, which I think is nice. And then here at the bottom, we have my date, and I just tap on that and it takes me right to my calendar. So having all that stuff with just one finger tap definitely makes it nice. And then the apps at the bottom here are gonna be apps that I can use with one hand. So phone, camera, Telegram, and then I have a folder, which a couple more things in here like gallery, Twitter, TikTok, and Spark. These are apps that I use with one hand a lot. And these are just kind of my one-handed friendly things that I keep in one area. The next screen over is actually a media player. And when I say media player, because it works for music and YouTube videos as well. And these buttons work. So for example, I was listening to Alicia Keys' Tiny Desk, and I can just hit play, and I hit it again, and then it stops. So this media player works. So if I'm just out and about and I'm listening to music, I can just hit the play button here and I'll start playing the music, or I can hit the over arrow and then I can go to the next video or go to the next song if I need to. So that's really nice that I have everything here just kind of in one spot, and then I have access to a larger calendar, so if I need to figure out what day it is, I can see that here quickly. So this is everything that I use on the cover screen, and then when we open this guy up, we are then greeted to our internal display, I guess our folding screen. And in our folding screen, it's kind of more of the same. I try to keep it very clean, very minimal. So once again, I have a nice big widget, and I tap on the weather, it takes me to weather, tap on today, it takes me to calendar, all those things. And then I go to the next screen, I have a big media player as well. And then from here, if I actually tap on the name of what's playing, it actually takes me straight to YouTube or whatever's playing at that moment. And then I can get back to that content. And yeah, so being able to just access those things very quickly is super important to me. Now, you may be wondering, or not, I don't know, but what widget am I using? So the widget I'm using, click and hold, go to widgets, and then I come down to custom widgets. I'm using KWGT widget. And then with this widget, with this app, this will allow you to use other widgets. So the widgets I'm using are Donut, MIUI, and Spring, okay? So you download those to go inside this app. I'm gonna leave a tutorial on how to use the app. The way I use phones is that I install apps as I need them. So in this time period of using the phone, I haven't used a ton of different like super unique apps just yet, but some of the usual suspects are there. You got Slack, Telegram, TikTok, Instagram, Prime Video, all those things. But there's a couple apps I do want to call out, apps that I've been using very recently, things that you may find useful. So Wanderlog is one for travel. If you do travel a lot, which I do, Wanderlog is super cool that you can come into here, and then any emails that you receive that has travel information, it will then populate. And so you have a trip set up, automatically pulls in your flight information, and if the flight information changes, it will be sent to you and all those things. It's also nice that you can add places to visit, and you can make an itinerary per day, which is definitely cool. So that is an app that I like to use for travel. I mean, it's an app that I pretty much am married to when I'm on the road traveling and things like that. Obviously, you guys heard of Reddit, Duolingo, Discord. These are all just really basic apps, but I like Duolingo, especially on a larger screen. It does help me see the words better and things like that. I feel more immersed in my learning experience when I am using Duolingo on a larger screen, but you can also use it on the cover screen too. A lot of these apps work great on the cover screen, which I find really nice, but at the same time, I do like to use the big screen for certain apps. So here we go, this is Duolingo, walking through learning a language, using it on a big screen or using it on a small screen, really doesn't matter to me. but is definitely nice. There's a couple of games on here that I really like. Battle Prime is a really quick multiplayer game. I have a lot of fun playing with it. It has really great audio. The touch response is super good, and it's just a fun shooter game. It's one that if you don't have a lot of time to play, like PUBG, which can take 30 minutes to play a full round, this right here is a good 5-minute round type of game, and I enjoy playing it. RL Sideswipe, which is Rocket League Sideswipe. I love Rocket League. Been playing that game for many years. Having a version on the phone that makes sense is really cool. And just having this larger screen to play those sorts of games, I find to have a competitive advantage when doing that. This phone I use for work as well, and so having Adobe Fill and Sign is really nice, being able to sign PDFs as they come in. And then you see here we have our widget stuff that I've downloaded. AZ Screen Recorder is kind of a cool one. This lets you do a screen record in different settings, so you can record your screen, record your face at the same time. It is an app that I use when I have to record something and send it to someone or send someone some help. I use this app. Another app I want to call out is CapCut. CapCut is just a nice video editing app, and it's really easy to use. To me, it's self-explanatory, but if you've never edited video at all, there might be a little learning curve, but as someone who does video for a living, this timeline just makes sense, right? Anything that you want to do from a video standpoint, you can pretty much do it here. Obviously, it's not going to replace like an Adobe app or anything like that, but for the most part, it can let you do what you want. You can do all sorts of effects and different types of clips. You can add audio. It does like really cool AI stuff, like remove the background. It's not perfect yet, and there is kind of a version that you could pay for, but for like a quick and dirty free video editing software, this is pretty solid. So I like to hold it in this orientation, but you can hold it like this as well. But I find holding it like this and then using the keyboard makes the most sense, which, you know, I like. Now let's pop into settings really quick here and show you some settings that I changed. I didn't change a lot. I went to dark mode. Adaptive brightness is on. Motion smoothness, you gotta have it on adaptive. That lets it be very smooth, but it does affect the battery life. So if you are running into like low battery problems, you can put it in power save mode. That will then move this to standard, but adaptive is something that does affect the battery life quite a bit. So you can just turn that off if you want. Screen mode, I do have it on natural. Vivid is very punchy with colors, but I like natural the best. I think it makes more sense to me, but a lot of people like vivid, but it does come in vivid too. Obviously, I did put a third-party wallpaper on. My wallpaper I got was from Canoopsy. I'm gonna link his website down below. And then under color palette, I picked one that works with the whole wallpaper, works with the whole theme, which I think is very attractive. So a couple more settings in here. There's edge panel and taskbar. You can turn the taskbar off and then your apps down here are gone. But I think the taskbar helps with multitasking, but the edge panels I sort of turn off. This is the edge panel. I feel like having the taskbar and the edge panel is a little overkill. So you can turn the edge panel off and keep the taskbar on, or vice versa. And navigation bar, I move over to swipe. You can do buttons if you want, which kind of sits right here with the taskbar. I don't like that look. I like swipe navigations. I think it just makes more sense. And then gesture hints, you can turn that off. If you know how to use it, you don't have to have the hints turned on. And then one more thing, in the winter when you start wearing gloves, or if you need to wear gloves, turn this on. This will allow you to use gloves with your phones, but until you're doing that, keep it off, so to prevent accidental presses and things like that. So this part is not really an app, it's more of a feature, but I don't see a lot of people using the feature this way. So of course, you go into a website or you go into any app, you have this little taskbar at the bottom, and then you can grab something from the taskbar, you can move it over. So like, boom, here you go. I now have 2 apps open, that's fine. But for certain apps like Twitter, Telegram, anything like that, if you move it all the way over and then stop and pull it back a little bit where you still see it, like you can still see it in here and let it go, it will then put it in this mode right here, which is nice. Like let's say you're watching a YouTube video or you're browsing or anything like that, and you want to keep track of a chat. So let's say you're in the middle of a chat, you're waiting for someone to reply, like Scott Peachy, I'm waiting for you to reply. Here is a golf video, I want you to reply back. And so I can leave it right here and still resume and then just look for the chat to come back. And then when Scott replies, I can then go boom, I can then reply and things like that. That's kind of a way of doing it. Obviously, you can have 3 apps open at one time. I think at that point, it gets kind of silly having 3 apps open at once, but if you're monitoring things like fantasy football or anything like that, I could see why someone would want to do that. But for the most part, I do like just having the 2 apps open and then kind of moving it over here, which I think works out really well. One thing I want to show you in the gallery really quick, which I find to be very helpful. When you're in the gallery and you're in a picture, if you press this icon at the top right corner, then go to Object Eraser. This is kind of like what the Pixel does, right? They got the magic eraser. If you go to Object Eraser, and you just highlight something, So for example, I'm highlighting this and then you press erase, it then smooths it out. So you can take a picture and you can kind of clean the picture up a little bit to make it look a little bit better. Let me clean up this sidewalk. These streets are dirty. You know, erase, boom. So you can do things like that. It does work for people and other objects too, if you want to be petty like that. So yeah, that is something I like to do in the Photos app. It is not a third-party app you need. It's not very special to Pixel anymore. You can just do it. So yeah, those are the apps on my device. I do want to share some accessories I'm using. The cases didn't come in just yet, so I can't share the cases, but as far as accessories, I love the Link Buds S from Sony. Samsung, they have their buds, and I think they're fine, but I find the Link Buds S to be sort of the best ones. I think they're 150 bucks right now. They were $200, but I think 150 at the time of this video, and they work really great. They sound amazing, and the microphone is really good. It actually works well with the Samsung device. It has quick connect, and so it connects very well with the Fold 4, so you're not losing out on anything at all. For working out, the beats are fantastic. I think the way they go in your ear is really nice, and you have that sweat protection, so if you do sweat a lot, you're not worrying about anything like that. The microphone is not perfect, but they sound really good, very bassy, and it's perfect for working out. And then for over-the-ear headphones, the XM5s are a great choice. XM4s are pretty good too, don't get me wrong, and I did a comparison between the two. But for me, the XM5s, because of the microphone, the noise cancellation, and the battery life, these are great. They don't fold up anymore, which is kind of a bummer. They just lay flat like this. This is kind of the new style. But yeah, these are great. That's all I have for you today. I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're sticking around still after this video, make sure in the comments you drop a fire emoji. Because my review will be coming out really soon, and as always, it's gonna be fire. Hit subscribe, hit like, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. See ya.